Jody.
My first item is purchase approval, and all of these purchase approvals I'm bringing to you because they come from the 277 funds or from Youth League participation funds. First one's for topsoil to be paid for by the Youth League funds from Cicero Youth Soccer and Cicero Falcons Pop Warner Football. Topsoil in the amount of $2,340, and this would be for Central Park and Plank Road Park, and that is county contract through Jack Brown and Sons, and the amounts for each of those accounts is listed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Charwacky?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Corral?
Yes.
Mr. Dzinski?
Yes.
The next item is infield mix paid for out of Youth League funds held by the town for the Cicero Little League. And I do want to note that the Board of Directors for Cicero Little League football and soccer all approved these expenditures from these accounts as well. 60 yards of infield mix, Jack Brown and Sons, who have county contract, for $1,170 out of the account for Cicero Little League.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Charwacky?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Corral?
Yes.
Mr. Dzinski?
Yes.
The next item is not one that accounts for an over $1,000 purchase from any one area, but I wanted to note that it will be used out of our 277 funds. It's mulch and lumber for an Eagle Scout project for Troop 117 Casey Rivers, who is doing his Eagle project at Plank Road Park. Trail development, which is about 1,500 feet of trail, adding a bridge and some benches. Two different vendors, Mill Creek for mulch and Home Depot for the lumber. The amount will be $1,320. And this young man is planning his project for the first weekend of May, first, second, and third, and then the following weekend if he needs it.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Charwacky?
This is amazing to me. Mulch is 3 times the cost of lumber for a bridge.
Well, you're doing
I
1,500
know.
feet of
I know.
trail that's at
Amazing.
least 5 feet wide, so it's quite a bit of mulch included.
Okay, I vote yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Corral?
Yes.
Mr. Dzinski?
Yes.
My next item is staff approvals for the seasonal workers. I don't know how, Chad, how you'd like me to handle this. There are 33 staff listed. They will cover day camp, both the regular program for children 5 to 12 and the preschool day camp program. Our lifeguard staff and park laborers, all names are listed. Rates of pay range anywhere from $7.25 for playground staff up to $9.50 for playground staff, or $12 depending on their level of experience and responsibilities. Swimming is $8.50 for lifeguards. Swimming facilities manager, $9.75 and $10.50 for the manager at the beach. And then park laborers are $8.50 an hour.
Does anybody have any specific questions on these 33 individuals?
There's also counselors in training listed at the end at no compensation.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Charwacky?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Corral?
Yes.
Mr. Dzinski?
Yes.
My next item is the acceptance of Riverside Cemetery in Brewerton, which is on Catherine Street. I gave you all a copy that came from the treasurer, Clarissa Skolnick. It's the last cemetery, large cemetery or public cemetery in the town of Cicero. And she writes that it's with great sorrow that she's requesting the town of Cicero take possession of the Riverside Cemetery. Their association has not been active for a number of years, and they no longer can continue to maintain the cemetery. I had a conversation with Heather and Jeannie about this. We're in the process of working through this, but I would like the board to accept the cemetery, which by state law, this cemetery has been abandoned. So by town law, we are required to take it over. I have a maintenance contract in place because we thought ahead that this may be coming, and we added it to our mowing contract. And I'd like to get the mowing contract out there to at least hit the grass when it starts growing, rather than come in late and have quite a bit of raking and whatnot. Heather is working on the deeds and the acceptance and all of the legal part of it, we're trying to pull that paperwork together. But I would like the board to accept the maintenance of this cemetery, per the attorney's approval, said that this is the best way to go at this point.
Motion to approve.
As usual, I have a question,
Yes,
excuse me. What is the legal yes or no, or the legality of having this person still to maintain the books and and burials? Or is that in or not in question?
No, we will take over all of that, and I will be bringing to you regulations, fee schedule. We're gonna set up a citizens board, but I'd like to use an existing cemetery board that I have right now, if they are so willing to do it. But there's quite a bit background that I need to get together before I bring it to you. And at this point, hopefully, we won't have the need to have to do any burials. But yes, if there is the need, we would be required to do that, but I would contract that service out. It would not be a town employee doing it, but we would contract for someone to do it for us.
Okay, thank you.
There's a mention of funds that we would assume those funds also then?
That is correct. Those funds are in an account right now, once the town takes it over, and the resolutions go to the state of New York, allowing the Riverside Association to abandon the cemetery and saying we take it over. Those funds then become the property of the town of Cicero. Jeannie would set up an account to keep the permanent maintenance monies, and then whatever money is left over for general maintenance, we would maintain that fund as well.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Tarwacki?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Coro?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes.
My last item is asking the board for a resolution in regards to the acceptance of funds for Sleeth Park development, and a member item that we received for that park's development. I'm in the final stages of the paperwork to be able to get the funds, and I need the board to do the resolution that I presented you, to give a negative declaration for the project so that I can get this to the state.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Tarwacki?
Yes.
Mr. Ryback?
Yes.
Mr. Coro?
Yes.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Yes. Anything else, Judy?
No, thank you.